Me, this screams tie, which would really shake up how this plays out.
So I don't know because here's the thing, right? Disrupt overall recently, and I think and the season as a whole have looked like the better team. They've got only a slightly better record, 6-2-4 as opposed to 5-3-4. But I think like their plays, even when they've been losing, they've been looking like a more complete team than 92 have been looking. So
All right.
I
Well,
think that
sorry to
probably
cut you
they'll
off
win,
real
but
quick.
we'll see.
The
Yeah.
game has started.
Yes. Yes.
So, misclick of an S from not saying who, but there we go. Again, I apologize for Jesse cutting him off. Game just went into it. We have Nomad being banned. Pretty popular ban so far, at least on this play day and in general. She's just so powerful, and as she has been allowed into comp play, we initially didn't see teams ban her or pick her a whole lot, but Disrupt were one of the teams to completely just hold her tight. Said, this is the operator I want to play. Waffle specifically said, this is my jam. I love it. So that ban makes a whole ton of sense to me, at least as far as if you're 9-2 Dream Team. We see Jackal and Echo ticking off the board, as well as Mira. Mira, not atypical, very typical. Jackal and Echo. Jackal, I'm not so sure how I feel about that ban. I'm kind of wishy-washy as far as that's concerned. Specifically, if you're going on to attack, because we know Vicious Gaming, we know how powerful they can be on roam. So to have somebody just to cut that time down would be very beneficial for you. The 6th pick over from Glaz to Dokkaebi also has a lot of things to have me scratching my head,
Hmm.
but hey, if there's any team to trust with what they're picking, it would be Disrupt Gaming. So underway we are for Playday 13. And we have one more Playday after this game. As a reminder, Rainbow Six UK streams at the exact same time. They are currently still going through their first game, which is Toon Squad versus Organized Chaos, which has a ton of playoff implications in and of itself. But regardless, we go here to Hookah. Pretty much all marbles on this map specifically.
Yeah, so to talk a little bit quickly about the implications of this game specifically, if Disrupt win, they've actually locked in their spot because at that point, 92 cannot get enough points to overtake them, and they've at least got the 4th place spot. If it's a tie, we're still up in the air, and if it's a 92 Dream Team win, then we're still up in the air. 92 Dream Team winning would knock Arbad out of contention, however, or a tie would also knock Arbad out. So no matter what happens, we will have a little bit clearer picture. But regardless, that's where we're standing. The game is getting into things here. 30 seconds, and we see Disrupt Gaming starting to approach in towards this bomb site. And the players that you really want to watch out, obviously Spades, but Yeti's had some really crazy games. He's actually probably in some games looked better at his peak than I would say Spades has, but Spades has been so consistently good, and Yeti's had a fair amount of just off games. So if Yeti's popping off, this could be a really, really big day for DG.
Very solid setup here, especially from the rest of 90. I almost called them Vicious Gaming. Do not do that. 92 Dream Team. Oh boy, it took me so long to get off of 92 Dream Team. Now it's gonna take me forever to get back onto that. Regardless, though, slow goings for Disrupt Gaming, but time and time again throughout Challenger League, we've seen this approach from them where it'll go down the last minute, and all of a sudden you just see the entire enemy team get executed on the spot. They do so well with the time given to them. It's only aided them going forward. However, 92 Dream Team have so much information. No IQ, and you're dealing with a Pulse, Valkyrie, and Maestro. It is very, very tough, at least as far as the information game is concerned if you're Disrupt Gaming.
Yeah, there's a lot of info on the board for the defenders, and you can see Drip right now utilizing that information. He's been maybe one of the quieter members on the side of VG, but last week in particular, he had a really good week, getting a lot of frags over in their very first matchup of the day. We'll see, though, a minute still to go in this matchup, and there have been 0 kills. Yeti's taking quite a bit of damage. Doodle's taking a little bit as well. Evil Wolf's taking a bit, but more or less everybody's alive, and Yeti's going to kill himself. That is not the way you want to start off your match, especially in a match so crucial such as this one. Yeti going down puts us into a 4 on 5, and I don't know how many of or how much of that floorboards he was actually able to really open up and play from down beneath. It looks like it's been a bit, but he wanted to get some kills with that. Drip gonna get another headshot onto Evil Waffle. That's a support player going down. Reed gonna be able to retrade this though. A headshot onto Hyena. So support players on both sides gonna fall. And we'll continue to go on forward. Spades gonna get a kill with the Claymore. Rexon walks on into that one. We're 3-3, and there's 20 seconds to go. Things are gonna heat up very, very quickly. A lot of damage down onto Tomas. He gets finished off with a headshot from Spades. He's gonna be so powerful with that F2, but not if he gets his head blown up. There's Mo with another one. They're gonna go back and forth and disrupt.
What?
Despite being down early, they come back and they're gonna win that round.
Okay, so all right. What was that? What was that final kill? All right. Wow. All right. There's a lot to break down here. That was such a sloppy round from both teams. Yeti killing himself. 92 with a complete advantage, but the way 92 Dream Team set up their defense seemed to rely heavily on Rexon's success down below. And Rexon ran into a Claymore, and then you had 4 of their players basically in this tiny, like, you could whisper and they could all hear what each other was saying. At least they were so tight on site, and you saw what one Spades can do. Spades just said, all right, I'm coming in, I guess. And you mentioned Spades open things up, dispatches. I believe it was Hyena hiding behind the couch inside of Hookah Bar, but with their setup, with being so close to each other and not having the pulse below and instead feeding information to Doodle, that was bound to bite them in the butt. And that was a lot of disrupt, assessing a situation not going their way and being like, oh, right, this. And apologies if I didn't make a ton of sense there. My point is, 4 anchors in a very, very close proximity was basically bound to spell doom if you're 92 Dream Team.
Yeah, and I think that it was a good recovery from DG, because obviously, like, Yeti blowing himself up there, that's an issue. And we kind of talked right before this game started that if Yeti's having an off day, this might be a really good opportunity for 92 Dream Team. And it was only 1 round, but that was a pretty basic mistake from Yeti. And so that can be the sign of an off day. I'm not going to call it after just 1 mistake, 1 grenade blowing up in your hand. It happens to the best of us. But that can't happen again, right? He's got to be able to come back here, because Spades can't clutch every single round, probably. He's good. Maybe he can, but I don't think that's going to be what they want to rely on to win this matchup. And so, obviously, a little bit of issues over on the side of 92 as well. I mean, we'll see how that ends up for them. Yeti, however, starting off this round a lot better than they did the first round.
Yeah, with almost a kill, and you can argue floorboards might have saved, or definitely saved, Drip's life there. Yeti going to rappel yet again to his position. He is primarily on that rappel to displace Drip with a grenade. So a grenade placed on these couches inside of billiards is the focus for Yeti. Saw him kill himself last time. Can't imagine the same mistake this time. And in fact, it looks like he's trying to go to tarp, but I believe that was fully patched out. They keep trying to patch it out, but it keeps coming back. Anyway, Yeti looked like he was transitioning over to Purple Tart, might be just dropping inside a penthouse, and sure enough, that is the case here. And then, yeah, right now it's just a good old Mexican standoff with no one on that west rappel, which means wide swings are more than entirely possible for the defenders, and again, only aids them. And when you don't bring that hard breacher, as we have mentioned before, it complicates things with the angle into VIP. So right now, Drip and Doodle have so much flexibility here on defense.
We saw a little bit from Evil Waffle utilizing those new Thatcher chains to open up the Maestro cam and take that out. He'll use another screw top at the same time, though his teammate of Yeti will again be the first one to go down. This time not from his own doings. It was actually Doodle who shot him in the head. So you've got that going for you at the very least, but still him going down first is again going to hinder them. Maybe not as significantly as the last time that happened. They were still able to pull it back, but again, they're going to have to pull themselves back. That's not where you really want to be at. 35 seconds to go, and this time is again going to continue to favor the defenders the longer this goes on. They haven't really found a whole lot of success in breaking into this really, really dense, really difficult to crack core on the side of Vicious Gaming, because they've just been struggling to actually get in, find any opening picks. They're going to start to move in now. The smoke's being thrown out. You see the Alda being utilized by Hyena, just spray bullets into where the attackers are. None of them landing just yet. Evil Waffle pushing into the bomb site, but great C4 from Drip. He's going to go from downtown, take down both Evil Waffle and Reap. They go back and forth. It leaves it only on a Mo. He's gotten a 3K. He's going to need the ace if he wants to be able to win it for his team. He's got so few time, though. 2 seconds, 1 second, and on from the side. Hyena doesn't even let it go to time. He'll get the headshot. 92 Dream Team tie the match.
So, flip side of things, tight anchor, a lot of crossfire, find success there. So, literally the exact opposite of the previous round. We see 92 Dream Team find success in what I imagine is what they had intended all along. Now, where I feel like Disrupt are kind of shooting themselves in the foot, foregoing the Hard Breacher attacking Hookah has eliminated the VIP angle, which has allowed 92 Dream Team to play around the couches in billiards and has provided so much more flexibility for that team. We've seen Drip and Doodle find so much success just in that tiny little area. And you don't have anyone on that West Rappel. You don't have grenades coming in. You don't have, basically, you're just letting it happen. Definitely a head scratcher for DG, in my opinion. We see the Dokkaebi foregone for the Glaz. It was 6 off of before, and again, Valkyrie. So, no IQ being brought. Why not? Beat us on information. It's one of the best operators in the game, especially if you cannot find those cameras. So, I love the pick from Thomas, and especially the person who has it. We mentioned it before, but mentioned again. Bombs out, Thomas, formerly of Accelerate Gaming, in. And this game hasn't made a single lick of difference. In fact, that is a stat line really that Bombs has taken on before. The O2 role, support role. So, a little bit interesting to me. Is that how
like for Tomas, right?
Has been?
Yeah, like it's difficult, especially in this roster of the I2 Dream Team. It'd be difficult for him to find a lot of those frags. And we saw even the first week, right? He wasn't popping off. He was not top fragging, I believe, in either of the games.
No.
But, what you do see from him and what Doodle said in the interview with me was that he's providing a lot of that behind the scenes work, right? He's pointing out their mistakes and just like doing a huge amount of work in the scrims and after the match is done. And so I think that's going to be his main use on the team. And even if we don't see it in the matches, I think he's doing a lot of the calling. He's doing a lot of the strategy behind their plays. And I don't think that even if he doesn't pop off in every match, I don't think that means that he's a bad player or that he's not contributing to this team in other ways.
No, absolutely not. And he was participating far before he even joined the roster. As I mentioned before, even with Bombs. Mid-season, they had basically sit-downs with Virus, with Jinx, with Thomas, and to talk about just strategy in general. And it's paying dividends. Their strategies, before the fight even begins, before the clock ticks down from 3 minutes, have been so much tighter and more efficient than they have been through the first half of Challenger League. However, we do see Yeti find some success finally. Normally he was dispatched so early on, but you're starting to see what a player to Yeti's caliber can do given, well, his life going into the first minute and a half of a round.
We still now see only 3 defenders of live. Spades going down means it's not perfect for the attackers. There's a really early frag from Drip. And again, he's been a very important player, probably the most important player from DG. So him going down is going to be very impactful. This is going to be an Evil Eye downer. And again, Evil Waffle's been on the ball and be able to utilize these brand new EMP grenades to take down those Maestro cams. So no, it's been great utility being used by him. He often doesn't appear on the scoreboard, but he helps out in quite a few other ways. So Evil Waffle, a really great player on the side of DG, maybe doesn't get the credit that he always deserves. 1 minute still to go in this round. We'll see them start to push on into the bomb site. They've taken a lot of interesting positions on the attack. They've really started to collapse in onto this kitchen. They've cleared out most of the roam. You can see Drip's gone, Rexon's gone. So they don't have to worry about a flank, really. Tomas could go for something, but probably not. I think at this point in time, there's so little time, he's probably just going to want to sit in the bomb site. That's where he's at right now. And with 40 seconds to go, this gas is going to start coming out as well. 4 players up, as I mentioned, and they're peeking in It's only going to be a matter of time. This A-bomb site so close. Being Flash is Hyena, and that could be a detrimental to him. They're all focused over here inside of service entrance, a couple of them. There's a couple over on the other side, though, too. When you see Reed just walking on forward, he's got that outline. That's all he needs. He misses a couple of shots, but doesn't matter because he's hitting it at the end. Doodle also falling to Yeti, leaves it all in Hyena, who's currently playing inside of lobby, nowhere in the bomb site. He needs to come back in. He's going to have to get the retake versus 4 players versus the Glass. These sight lines are all going to be watched. Can't even win the first one. It's Evil Waffle out on top.
Well executed from DG. The only thing I would comment I'm a little curious about is you have the man advantage. You have a buck. Why are you not playing and displacing people in beer, specifically to exactly where the Valkyrie and Smoke were playing? You could have Yeti just go into Penthouse and displace everyone in beer. So that was the only thing I was kind of scratching my head out as the round continued, but they opted for the flank instead, and obviously it worked out well for them. A 2-1 advantage for Disrupt Gaming going to the 4th round. Kitchen again. So if the pattern continues, this should go VG's way, and then we should see a different bomb site. It'll just be DGVG, DGVG, DGVG. Eventually, it's just going to become a commercial.
Eventually.
It sounds like Fanta Wanta.
It would be DG92, though, because there is no VG.
Oh, right. Yeah,
I know.
That's
I know.
awkward. Yeah. I told you it's going to take me a while.
Me too, man. It's rough. It's rough.
DG92 does not rhyme.
All right, take a look at these stats for a moment, because I see 2 big 5s jumping out, but one is a little bit bigger than the others. Mo with 5, that's great, but you've still got Reed with 3. Sort of the unexpected players on DG. I mean, it's hard to call Mo an unexpected fragger, right? But historically in the season, he's been more taking a backseat to Spades and Yeti in terms of getting the kill departments. But Drip up there when the rest of his teammates have at most 1 kill, that's a problem. Maybe not for some teams, right? If you're like, let's say Toon Squad, right? You've only got one guy fragging out, everybody's more like supporting him. That can be okay. Same with like Sills Gorillas.
That's
but
how
this
you
is
get
vicious
promoted.
gaming. But like vicious gaming.
KnowYourMemes.com.
They should be having everybody frag out. They have a team full of gunners. They need to be having at least 3 of their guys having good days. And that can be any of their guys because of this roster, because of the players on it. Drip's one of them today, that's fine, but somebody else has to go on the board. Doodle's got to start popping off. Rexon's got to start popping off. Somebody's got to get back into this game, because if not, I mean, I could see this going very heavily in favor of Disrupt if these stat lines continue to trend the way they have been.
Fully agree. However, a big reason why 92, not VG, had to upend most of their strategy, find coaching from Virus, Jinx, and Thomas, as I mentioned time and time again, is because initially where 92 were finding so much success in qualifiers was basically they were treating it like the Wild Wild West, so saying, we're going to peak everything in human existence, and whoever is fragging out gets doc. That's basically it. Whoever finds the kills first. Then they get to CL, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, you guys
People
actually study us for hours at a time. Right, got it. All right, we need to fix this. So them not having everyone fragging out is pretty much what the refined 92 is pretty much all about. They're basically, like you said, they have Magic. They have Jordan. They have Bert, but they're letting Jordan do his thing, all right? You give it to the hot hand, you let him shoot it. That's just how it works now. And it's honestly, in my opinion, it's a better look for 92. They also have the capabilities, but instead of just wild westing it, they're basically the strategy set up to have certain people succeed more than others.
No, that's a very fair point. I think this 92 is looking better after their revamp. They made a few changes, but it's still going to be just Drip, and maybe Drip's all you need. He starts off with an opening kill on a Yeti. That's his 3rd opening death of this game. A little bit of a bad look for him so far, but we'll see how it works out. Still, his team is in the lead for the moment, taking this gunfight. Spades, wow, he wins that with the F2. Doodle, not a chance. Eventually, Mo gets another one. Drip shuts down, so we're going to have to rely on another one of these players picking up the fragging role. Somebody's going to have to get more than one on the board. You see it's still Tomas, Hyena, and Rexon, the 3 defenders still left alive. And just what crazy plays that we've seen already in this round from Spades in particular, hitting that shot with the F2. And him staying alive is going to be really important. Yet he goes down, and that's not the end of the world for your team, right? Sometimes you see a team just lose one player and everything falls apart. That's not going to be them in spades with another one. A headshot and a hyena. Rexon finds Reeds, but you still got to deal with spades. Evil Waffle off the board, too, means that it's going to be all to spades and Mo. These two have been fragging like crazy this game. Mo gets one before he traded out, and it's going to be Rex and spades. The two top fraggers on both sides. The plant has to go down from spades, though,
Rex.
and this is going to be tragic. Rexon just needs to push, and he will win the game. Knows the time's running out, but he's actually going to get it down, so this is not over yet. Spades will back off, about 75 HP on the side of him. Now it's going to be a retake from Rex, and needs to get on back in and get this defuse. Now, firing a couple of bullets forward, we see Spades holding the angle, does not want to move a muscle, create any sound that he has to. Rexon is going to be the one who needs to take the initiative, has no idea, does not have the information, no drones to use, of course, he's on defense. No doubt those cameras have been used. He's going to fake the disable, pushes forward, and wins the gunfight! Spades will go down, and Rexon will win it for his team. We're back to a tied game.
DG, I'm gonna say it for meme's sake, DGVG. But these two teams just going back and forth, and admittedly that was absolutely around that DG should not have lost. That was an absolute mistake on Twitch's end. I mean, all he did, and to anyone listening, there are 7 seconds on a defuse for competitive play. When you hear just the initial sound of the first second happen, you don't need to then immediately peek. That was as classic of a bait as it gets for Rexon. Granted, moment right now is very, very, very big for both of these teams. So maybe the smoothest plays and well thought out plays aren't exactly happening for some teams, but still, I fully stand by. Calm down. There's 7 whole seconds you have before you actually need to surrender your position. Granted, that was a round that Spades brought within reason. In general, he got 2 kills, got the plan off, but still, I firmly stand by that. I do want to point out Waffle's recent change. So where 92 have found success on this site is that they can do these wide swings around A-bomb from the couches and billiards. Now, when you bring Hibana, you have access to the VIP angles you can open up with that operator. And that, to me, shakes this whole thing up. And we want to do a quick score report. Organized Chaos have beat Toon Squad on Oregon.
Okay. So this is good for Vicious Gaming. That means that they now have an advantage. If they can win this game, they put themselves in a great spot. Do they? No, it will come down to rounds because Vicious Gaming and Toon Squad are tied in the head-to-head. They both got 6-6 twice. So this is very, very good for Vicious Gaming. It's also good for Arbad. We'll continue to play out the rest of this match, though. I do want to mention for that last round, Rexon getting the clutch means that's his 6th clutch of the season. That is more than any other player has so far. So that's a fun little stat for you. Rexon, apparently the clutch god, wins those 1v1s to end it off. Great by him to be able to get that. He wins these. That's just how it goes. But in terms of this round, I mean, as you mentioned, bringing the Hibana is a bit of a change from Evil Waffle. He's been doing really good on the Thatcher, but I think that this is a good change as well. You can really root out those players who've been hiding back behind with the couch, right? And we talked about this last game because Hibana was banned, and so we had to sort of get into why that might be banned. This is really the bomb site where Hibana is going to be the most useful.
And this is a bomb site that teams have more often than not favored recently. So
Yes.
Penthouse pretty much thrown out. Kitchen became the hot thing for a while, but then teams started spamming Hookah over and over again. So Hookah number 1, Kitchen number 2 has really been it. And Hibana really shakes up how well you can defend Hookah. And we see that angle being opened up now from Evil Waffle with a freaking awesome gun skin. I love that gun skin.
Oh, me too.
It's so
so nice. It's the Elite, right?
I'm not sure the gun skin. I know he's wearing the Elite skin.
Oh,
I'm not sure about the gun skin. Regardless, though, still a ton of information available for 92, which you could argue has been a big reason why they found so much success. No IQ brought at all from Disrupt Gaming. Granted, they banned Echo, but still, no IQ being brought allows Valkyrie to shine.
Certainly, a minute still to go in this round. We've got 10 players alive. They're going to start collapsing in on it now. Tomas gets forward, and it'll be Spades opening up onto Doodle. Doodle's been a little bit quiet this game, and he's been a big player in some of their other matches where he's really popped off. He can play a Maverick really good. He can play a couple of different operators, but on the smoke, maybe that's just not where he needs to be. One shot is all it takes from Reed, and he'll dome Hyena, make him leave the server. This is more of those X-Kairos that we were talking about getting utilized, and Yeti with another one. This is all falling apart from DG. Tomas might start to turn that around now. No, he will not. Evil Waffle takes him down, and Rexon will need a 4K. We talked about how many times he's clutched. He's going to need to get his 7th clutch of the season if he wants to be able to win this one for his team. Very, very difficult spot to be in, but he's only got to stall for 20 seconds, and if he can just down that diffuser or do anything in terms of stopping the plant, that'll be huge. That's a great kill from him. The second of the round, again, though, needs a 4K. He's got 10 seconds. Oh, if he can go from down below, that could be huge. Just a little bit slow, though, and because he's not able to get there in time, the diffuser goes down, and he'll have to come in for the retake. So same position he was in last time. This time, though, it's going to be a little bit more difficult because there's 2 guys on the other side of things and not just one. He's also down a little bit of HP. Mo's almost at full. Evil Waffle's at about half, so nobody fully healthy, but overall does favor the attackers because they've got that player advantage and the health advantage. Evil Waffle from out on the balcony. Rexon's trying to find him right now, but Evil Waffle does not need to move. Time is ticking, and he's not looking the right direction. Evil Waffle wins that gunfight easy peasy.
Yeah, so right now DG have planted the bomb the past 3 rounds, and you could argue they probably should have won the past 3 rounds. They have looked very, very good coming on to this, and I will say that a large portion of success of that round was simply due to one operator pick. I think that Hibana really shook up what 92 were used to, which again, we talked about it from the very first round. This very clumped, tight, we can do it together kind of defense, but when you have a Hibana open up angles and you're basically caught with your pants down, that's when the scatter effect happens. We saw Doodle get dispatched. So Doodle was playing around inside of couches. As soon as he hears the X-Kairos goes off, he starts rotating away, and that's where we see Spades pick him off. It's just simply because of that rotation, and that rotation happened again because of the Hibana. Because you open up the VIP angle, then you hold it. Then you open up the wall that he's on from the courtyard side, and then you're just completely exposed. So he has to rotate again. Hibana, so necessary on a site like Hookah. Little surprised that we're not seeing her again now.
I wonder if that was just maybe a misread of where the bomb site was going to be, because they could have changed it around over in the defense, of course. I believe Kitchen's still going to be.
They would have gone to Penthouse or Blue Bar. I mean, Hookah was kind of obvious.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm a little surprised.
No, I agree. I'm also surprised, but just maybe that's what they were thinking. Certainly, Bars is not a bad site, so they could have gone there on the side of Vicious Gaming, or on the side of 92.
Okay, at least I'm not the only one doing it.
Oh, don't worry, man. You're definitely not. But one thing to talk about, though, is 92 Dream Team. They've never played this map this season. They did play it in the qualifiers, but there's not a whole lot to go back on and look at from Disrupt. And especially if you're Disrupt, you're expecting this to go to Consulate, which I think would be the base expectation because 92 Dream Team have never gone to Coastline. Maybe you're not super prepared for this. So maybe you don't necessarily know, okay, where's this team going to go for their bomb sites? You kind of just take a guess. Maybe you've gambled this round if you've lost.
Yeah, and again, we will put emphasis for those of you just joining now. These 2 teams are still capable of both dropping out of the playoffs and qualifying for the playoffs. So there is no saving strats. There is no we're not trying. This is everything for a lot of these teams. And Disrupt Gaming are looking like the stronger team, at least as far as the beginning of this first half.
No, certainly. For some teams like OC and like now Sonics, yeah, maybe they're saving strats, but right now it is grind time. This is probably the most important match of the season, or at least of the regular season for DG and 92. So they've got to pull out all the stops, and this is just going to be so important. DG, a win here locks them in. 92, a win will put them in a much better position, especially with Toon Squad losing their match over on the A stream versus Organized Chaos. So lots on the line, lots to play for. Even Arbad, I'm sure, in the midst of their match, they're thinking about how this one might be going because it's got a lot of playoff implications for them and Toon Squad. There's so much going on in terms of Challenger League playoffs right now.
Yeah, and maybe the Hibana was dropped simply because we're seeing a completely different change of attack right now coming out from DG. They're looking more and more like they're going to smack up Hookah. And I don't know why I said that, but it looks like they're going to attack into Hookah instead, which I could stand IQ to displace any Valkyrie cameras outside feeding information, but at the same time, you didn't bring any smokes. Oh, sorry, you brought 2 smokes with you. And now the road. I don't know. I'm not really sure what the plan of attack right now for DG is. They're switching it up quite a bit. However, Thomas on his back, that is a C4 right now, currently off the mark. And you have Mo Digga below, who this is pretty much
Wants
blood
to
in the
finish
water
that.
for him.
There he is.
And, well, they'll
Ooh.
find Hyena instead. Drip will then find Mo in a refrag. Hyena was going over to help Thomas. Thomas is now off the board. Rexen refrags, and this is just a slaughterfest happening right now. It'll be Rexen and Drip to secure the rest of this round. Drip still below with the C4 in hand. However, the plant going down on top of the bar. An unfortunate C4 toss right now from Drip as he struggles to get that over the mark, and it'll be Spades to take out Rexen. Spades peaks again, and Drip falls down. 4-2 for Disrupt. That could not have gone worse in those closing seconds.
Drip, that's just not how you want to play that. It's so unfortunate. I mean, he had the really great opportunity where he had the pings from his team. He could have just thrown the C4 up and gotten an easy 2K. Hesitated a little bit, wanted to go through the bars. Or were they on
They
the
were
pool
on the
table?
pool table.
Oh,
yeah.
blah, blah,
And he
blah,
knew
I
it,
got
so
you.
that's why he was trying.
Yes.
He was trying to throw it over the bars onto the pool table, but that's a tough ask.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really tough throw, but
Yeah.
what can you do, I suppose? He's wishing he would have been able to get those kills one way or the other. It didn't happen, and now it's going to be 4-2 swapping sides, and this could be the game changer, because with how back and forth this match had been, just that one round not going in favor of 92 Dream Team could spell disaster for them. And again, if they don't win this, their playoff dreams are still very, very fragile. There's a couple of teams gunning for that spot, and Disrupt would lock it in. I guess, you know what, if Disrupt win this, then there's only one spot to play for what is technically Playday number 14. That's scary.
And as we mentioned before, Toon Squad just lost to OC, and Toon Squad and 92 going into this Playday, going into this week, were tied. So
Yes.
if 92 lose this, they'll continue to be tied with Toon Squad, and the final game of the day for 92 could be the determining factor for Challenger League. It's crazy.
Yeah, you
This
do
is
want to
bananas. BANANAS.
You do want to be a little bit supportive though of like VG's chances, because if you look at their last matches, why we keep saying VG, 92 Dream Team do play versus Arbad, who have throughout the season, they've been looking good recently, but throughout the season have been a little bit weaker of a team. Whereas on the flip side of things, Toon Squad need to take down Sonics or try to get some points off of the Sonics. So that's a really, really tough matchup, especially with SQ looking so good. It will say that SQ now no longer have anything to play for other than seeding, so maybe they'll go a little bit easier. But I think with how competitive playoffs are looking, I think seeding is still going to be plenty to play for. So no doubt in my mind that's not going to be an easy match for Toon Squad, no matter what. But that's in the future. That all relies on this game.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about depending on how the rest of this plays out. Regardless, though, half is over with, and I'm sorry, not Toon Squad. 92 are on. I'm mixing up everything. Are on attack now. I love the Hibana pick. I always do. She's my gal. And again, Twitch over and over again. So more often than not, Ashe was brought obviously a ton of fragging power, but you had the R4C with an ACOG. You had a 3-speed, and you had an ability to get rid of Evil Eyes and utility from the other team. Now, with the changes to Evil Eyes, where a Twitch drone or EMP grenade can open up the Evil Eye, we're seeing like, oh wait, Ashe doesn't have ACOG. Ashe isn't the only way to kill Maestro. We're bringing Twitch over and over again, basically. And she still has, I would say, a second best gun to the R4C, but with the ACOG, might have taken the throne, the F2.
Yeah. No, there's
talks of getting rid of the ACOG for the F2 already.
Anytime there's a good operator, just take away their ACOG. Doesn't matter. None of them deserve ACOGs. Let's just take ACOGs out of the game, to be fair. But we're in a 4-on-4. We saw Spades get a kill and then traded out by Trip, I believe. So that's a really big player gone over on the side of Disrupt Gaming. They're going to now need to try to hold on as we have gone into the half swap. That moves them over to the defense. and they've chosen to go kitchen for their first site. So again, this has been a pretty popular bomb site. And oh, look at this peek out. Evil Waffle just barely missing those shots. Unfortunate. Battle of supports as they go back and forth there. The down onto the diffuser from Hyena would have been fairly substantial. It is outside, so the attackers could have picked that back up. It's still a little bit of wasted time that would have been off of the clock. And speaking of the clock, we're ticking down. 35. Rexon gets one, but immediately traded out. Mo, again, so huge this game. It's been one of his best games he's had all season. This is sure the time to do it. Drip, however, coming back, his second kill of the round. We'll find Evil Waffle, and he's just hiding, trying to get back into this bomb site, but he won't do it. It'll be Reed with the Alda, who shuts him down, makes it a 2-on-2 firing forward. Hyena saw one, but it'll be Tomas coming out on top of Reed, putting it all onto Mo, and Mo, as just I said, he was having a really great game. It'll need to be a little bit better. Plant starting to come in from Hyena, and Drip, of course, going to be trying to, well, from the grave, sorry, it's going to be Tomas trying to cover for him as Mo is going to start to come in and deny this plant. He's going into the courtyard. He actually finds Tomas, who was watching for it, not ready, giving up the plants, letting that go down, but then coming forward, being able to have the time on his side, and he'll be able to easily get this disabled. I don't know. Oh, he's watching for claymores. This is good because this has punished teams in the past, but no, there's nothing to be afraid of. Mo's going to be able to stop this, and great play from, I believe, the top fragger of the server right now.
Yeah, that was really intelligent rotations too. You notice he 100% was looking for the cover person. He didn't give a crap about the bomb being planted. He wanted to find who was covering for that person. And for those who don't really quite understand Siege too much, when the plan is going down, you're down a gun. That is complete focus on just that plan. That's all you can do. So if there's a 3v2 in favor of attackers and the plan is going down, it is then effectively a 2v2 for 7 seconds. That's why Mo was looking. Mo was looking for the only gun available at the time. Really, really intelligent play. That was a literally a back and forth round as close as that possibly can get. That was a very à toi kind of round. One kill, now you. One kill, now you. Yeti, I'm so glad is not playing Clash and switches over to Mute instead. I like the lineup that VG is, that 92 is bringing. They are just, at least as far as that round, and actually no, in general, the execution has not been there. The final, the sub 30 seconds of most of these rounds have just been kind of sloppy, I guess would be the best way to phrase it for 92.
Yeah, no, I think I would agree with that that assessment. The player sticking out to me right now on the scoreboard is Doodle down, dropping the breadstick. Hyena's also there with him, but Hyena is the guy playing more the support role, right? He's playing more Hibana. We haven't really seen Hyena pop off in the same way that we have Doodle throughout the season. Especially like last week when 92 played really, really well, especially in their second matchup. Like, Doodle was a huge part of that, right? And so him not performing is a big reason why they're down 5-2 right now.
So the conversation piece, put up the graphics creator. But when you get rid of Bombs, who was your smoke, hard breacher, and planner, dedicated support, and then you switch Doodle onto that role as far as defense is concerned, it's not a role he has been playing. In fact, Doodle, more often than not, has been fragging out for 92. So to have him then basically flip roles into a very passive one in a smoke for defense is a very large explanation as to why we see that sort of result, why we see him taking the trip to Olive Garden. It's a very awkward switch for any player to go from person that meets anybody face to face to then support. So that could explain a whole lot of what is going on. Again, we saw Tomas a lot on information roles and C4s and really the roam. So yeah, so roster changes, turns out very difficult to make work and adjust to at a, I don't want to say high frequency, because the changes they have felt were deemed necessary and nobody's in any position to say otherwise. But it's certainly more than most teams have gone through, the amount of roster changes for 92. And it's hard for any individual player to adjust your role even slightly, as far as from communication to just how you approach the defensive strategy in the prep phase. It's an awkward change to have at any sort of frequency. Yeti will be the first one to dispatch Thomas. Speaking of And Sophia off the board. That's a heck of a gun you don't want to lose, especially if you're going to opt to bring hard breachers.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, you've still got Rexon playing over on the Twitch, and you've got Drip, who's been great with the grenades in the season past. But okay, a couple of frags going down back and forth. Now Spades will pick up one, and Doodle with the trade headshot onto him. So Spades at least getting the trade and keeping his team in the player advantage before finally going down. Rexon, hello? Okay, well, Yeti will fall. A little bit sloppy there. Neither player really knew where each other were, but it doesn't matter. He gets the kill. Reed and Mo both going to kill a piece, though, and it's going to be all under Rexon to try to save this round. He got the opening one a little bit sloppy. He's going to need to find 3 more, hopefully a bit cleaner, because there's only 25 seconds. He doesn't have diffuser, and if they lose this, then they cannot win the game. Of course, 6 rounds is going to be enough to at least push to the tie. And Mo's hiding behind the plant. Rexon won't spot him. Disrupt Gaming cannot lose this match, and they've been looking way, way better.
That is the 4th time Rexon has been in a 1vx situation this game. Yep. And it's just, there's a point where that trend is something to highlight and start thinking about. So Rexon has been playing roamers. He's now playing Twitch. And it seems that DJ, and this could just be, again, this is all theories, as we don't know the inner workings of anything, but it seems that this is a flat outplay from DG, where they, at least initially, had all the information on Rexon that they needed, said, okay, ignoring. We're not going to push into him. We're just going to ignore him. Pushing into objective, dispatch 92, and Rexon is left alone for the first half. That half, playing on Twitch, very curious to me that he wasn't in a lot of gunfights initially.
Yeah.
You're playing one of the most frag-happy operators in Twitch. Essentially, if Ash still had her ACOG, you'd be playing Ash right now. And just a little curious to me that he's still left alone on the island. I gotta think there are communication issues happening right now for 92. I mean, we saw it when he was on deep. Perfect example. Rexon managed to clutch that round versus Spades, but Rexon ran all the way to blue and hid. And Spades was planting the bomb inside a beer. Like, there was a communication error where he said he doesn't have the bomb. That he just doesn't have it. And that was being communicated clearly. But he did, and the plant was going. So I'm just a little bit curious as to where 92 Dream Team's comms are at the moment.
Yeah, it's interesting because Rexon, we talk about his clutches. He's at 6 now at the season. The next highest, as far as I know, is 4 clutches. So he's had like a ton. And part of that might be he's just a great anchor player, but he hasn't really been playing those anchor roles. So maybe the fact that he's even in the position where he can get so many clutches is a bit of an issue. And if he's just sort of letting his team go in and die first, and sometimes that works out for him, sometimes it's not, well, maybe you think he might be a little bit more effective as a whole if he can sort of just be there with his team so that he doesn't have to clutch, right? If he can be there with his team and maybe be a little bit more effective in helping them win their gunfights, well, this might go a little bit better for him. Speaking of what's not going well for him, he's going to be the first one to die. Rexon Mo will find him. Spades has been downed in return, though, and now Tomas is looking to try to finish off that kill.
Yeah, and this is just a case of Disrupt really looking to roll here. Granted, you have Spades knocked on the ground and Mo taken pretty low. Hyena on this Blackbeard has been a terror for as long as time is concerned. Rexon dispatched earlier this time than what we are potentially used to. Doodle doing what Doodle has done best throughout this Pro League, which is throughout this Challenger League, is frag out. You give Doodle a role where you just say, go get him. Go be a wild Doodle. And he does it well. We're left in a 2v2 situation. A smoke's still on the board, but the frag power right now for 92, you gotta think they're going to take their first round in 4 rounds.
You might be a little bit worried, though, because these are probably the bottom 2 fraggers. Maybe not. Depends how Doodle's numbers will look right now, but Drip and Rexon, the 2 guys who've been really popping off this game, they're both off the board, so it's going to be put onto these players. We saw already Doodle pick it up a little bit. We need these other players who've been slacking a bit this match, at least in terms of the kill department, to really pick it up. Tomas has been doing all right. Hyena hasn't really been seen too well, but again, he is pretty crazy on the Blackbeards. This is a role we've seen him on before. He's not really on that support role, but he doesn't need to be because, again, so good on the Blackbeard. So very doable. Mo's pretty lit as well, and Evil Waffle has been more of the support player, so maybe you can take a win or a kill off onto him. His last gas canister did just get used at the 40-second mark, so as soon as that dies down, the attackers are going to be able to not worry about that any longer, as long as they've been counting those gas grenades correctly, and they're going to use those flash grenades to just run Tomas in. He can start the plant. He's got the diffuser on him, but it seems like with these pings, the defenders know exactly where he's at. Hina trying to cover, has no idea where anybody is, but it looks like Tomas does. He's going to be able to find the head, or at least the body of Evil Waffle, leave it on to Mo, who gets a shot onto Hyena. One-on-one, 15 seconds, and this is going so clutch. This would be the win if Mo can clutch this out over and secure their spot. This is so huge. An important round for Mo, but he needs to just stay alive, hold this angle. Now about to walk into his sight lines. Tomas does not lose those. Whoa, with the headshot. They'll keep the dream alive and go into the next round.
Yeah, and wow, Thomas showing the PL experience. Like I said, individually, Thomas has just been an absolute beacon of light for Accelerate Gaming through Pro League. Bench a whole other thing, but still, as just individual, he has done so well. And wow, that basically 1v2, because Hyena was dispatched pretty early into that, was insane. And that was all done with an Evil Eye feeding the exact positions of both Thomas and Hyena. That's where Mo got that kill. He just peeked right into the ping and managed to kill Hyena. And unfortunate for Waffle, the step up and Thomas flick ended up killing him. But man, you can't say enough of how close these rounds have gone. And like I said, this is everything. This is for Challenger League playoffs. This is for I keep saying Premier League. Pro League hopes. Again, I watched way too much football yesterday. Manchester United lost. It's a whole thing. I don't want to talk about it. Mo Digga.
Wow. 15-2-4. Dude, that's nuts.
And that has been also, that hasn't just been open up, get 3 kills, team wins the round. That's been clutch. That is a very impressive stat line with impact frags included. So yeah, that is impressive to say the very least. We are seeing a resurgence of Penthouse. Let me correct myself. Not a resurgence is the wrong word, but a almost last-ditch effort when blue isn't working, when you don't want to go hookah because so many teams do it. Obviously, your last idea is Penthouse, but I gotta say I'm not a fan of it at all. I don't like Penthouse. I don't like it on even ranked. I hate when my team always chooses Penthouse, even though it never works out. It's just,
well,
I don't know. I just don't think it's a
defending
strong
Kitchen
hold whatsoever, and especially when you have hookah available to you.
Yeah, probably a big reason why DG are choosing to go Kitchen for this round. Spade starts it off with a nice headshot on the Doodle, though, and so again, this is going to be putting them into a great position. This is for playoffs. This is really important, but that last round, that felt like a swing round. The fact that it went so close, and they almost got the clutch, but they didn't, right? And it was actually the guys on 92 who got the clutch. That could really motivate a team and really hype you up. So this could be very, very dangerous. If Disrupt let this start to slip, you could be worried. However, a big part of that last round was Doodle getting 2 kills on the initial frag back and forth, and he got traded. He did die, but still being able to bring his team into that situation, that was important. Now he's the first one to go down. Can you still do it? You still got Drip, you still got Rex, and your guys who have been putting in most of the work for the early rounds of this game, even when you were losing, but you're still a little bit worried about that, perhaps.
We've seen a lot of success. The reason we've seen so many teams abandon it's Kitchen, sorry, but yes. Abandon. I don't know what the heck am I saying? All right, I'm gonna stop talking. All good.
Literally done. We're on Kitchen, and they're trying to attack it. They did have to take control of Penthouse though, and they're here now, and because of that, they're gonna be able to even out the man count. Rex and a headshot on the Reed. And with this, makes it a 4-on-4. That's Reed going down. That's a really important operator off of the board. The Maestro no longer able to utilize those cameras. They'll still be up, but cannot be moved and cannot shoot anything. So that's still going to be quite a bit of utility off of the board. A couple of gas canisters being thrown out. 45 seconds left. And we'll see how the rest of this push comes forward. You can still see everybody holding their angles. The rush hasn't come in just yet. Oh, and look at Spades actually with this angle looking at the roof. There is somebody just on the other side of things. Rexon needs to be so careful where he's standing. I don't think he realizes how close that ACOG is being trained on him. But I think for the moment, Spades still just peeking around. Yeah, Rexon has no idea that Spades is looking for him at the moment. 20 seconds, he'll drop on in, and Spades actually has no idea. His teammates are out here fragging. Hyena and Tomas both get one, but Yeti with a headshot makes it not too bad of a disadvantage for his team. Spades and Mo, two of the best players. Mo comes in, gets one. Rexon shuts him down, though. It'll be all on Spades, and he cannot do it. Just as I mentioned, this is the slip. 92 Dream Team take round number 10. They're starting to pull this back.
Yeah, and sorry for that brain fart before. When you work a full-time job and then go into casting, you miss a few things and your brain stops working. That was blatantly kitchen. I just kept calling it Penthouse. That's why I'm glad I said, like, why are they going? All right.
Hey, now you get.
I swear to God, if they go Penthouse here, I'm gonna scream because
it's
I'm
happening.
not
Here we
emotionally
go.
prepared. Yeah, okay. Well, now I can talk about it. I don't like this site.
That's fair.
I just do not like this site, especially when you have quite literally any other, well, not literally any other site available, when you have other sites available to you. Just simply because the success of Penthouse and attacking Penthouse came simply from brute forcing your way into bathroom, into VIP, and then you just get the plan off. Controlling the actual site Penthouse, forget about theater for a moment, controlling Penthouse itself, where B-Bomb is so easy because really the only defensive play you have is laying down right next to the bookshelf, where you saw plenty, we saw last game Ghost play that, at least for Sonics, but that is pretty much the only spot you can be inside a Penthouse. Other than that, you can't be in Penthouse.
Yeah.
Big window, bathroom, Hall of Fame all expose you way too much. And these coordinated teams, these terrific teams have found so much success in just, again, as I mentioned, just saying, all right, we're going to push in the Hall of Fame, as you know, and there's really not a thing you can do about it. And that's TLDR, that's why I don't like the site, is just, it's, I think, a little bit too easy for defenders.
Yeah, I mean,
or attackers, sorry.
Yeah, no, I got you. It's why a lot of people don't like this site, right? It is the least played bomb site, and especially with Mira off the board. Like, we used to see this, like, back in the day. This was a pretty popular site because, like, Mira was always allowed. That was before bans even came in. But then once bans happened, like, this site really fell out of favor, and especially with Mira off the board, a lot of the time, you just don't see teams go here, even when Mira's available to you. And so nowadays, it doesn't seem like Mira necessarily has a huge impact on whether people play this bomb site or not, but it is something to note that maybe this would be a little bit stronger. The way that DG have set their lineup up seems like it's going to be a pretty frag heavy. Yeah, like they're going to be
DG.
Roaming. No, DG.
I'm so ready to correct you on VG.
Man, you should.
I want you to slip up one more time. I said VG, I think, one more time than you did, so I need you to say
It's been
VG
rough,
once.
dude.
It's not easy, especially with, like, if you've been keeping up CCS, Altus Police Department have gone through, or not gone through, but have changed orgs like 4 different times.
Yeah. It's not fun.
But anyway.
We see Rexon playing around here. Getting a
And
little
this
bit of
is a
damage
very
on him.
widespread defense for DG, and makes a ton of sense. Again, you can't be inside a Penthouse, as we see right now, so you have to somewhere occupy the rest of the map. And like I said, teams found a lot of success in essentially just brute forcing their way into the site. We see an attempted setup for 92, but not a lot of follow-up from utility used from Hyena, which is certainly a little bit interesting to me. I'm actually very surprised nothing was used off that. Just 2 smokes were used, fire was used, and a heck of a lot of shots for Drip to even down the Maestro there. And this is DG falling apart, and I am not surprised because you picked Penthouse.
Yeah, this has been a disaster round for Disrupt Gaming, and this is why you don't play Penthouse. The plan's gone down. It's a disaster. Mo's the last man alive. He's got to get an ace clutch, and right now, if you are 92 Dream Team, you're really happy. But otherwise, if you're Disrupt, if you are Toon Squad, if you are Arbad, you are shaking, because this is a match that's so important to so many different teams, right? I mean, this is just going to be... You did call Ty, and you're looking like an oracle right now, because 6-5 DG have just been slipping, and honestly, it's been all there for 92. These last couple of rounds, the guys who were asleep, they've woken up, and the guys who were already awake, they've been like on caffeine pills. They've been crazy when they play these rounds, right? And you're able to shut down the big guys on Disrupt Gaming. What has Spades done for the past 2 rounds, right? I mean, Mo's been okay here and there, but he hasn't been able to get these crazy frags, like these crazy like 4Ks that he was getting earlier on in the game. So yeah, no, 92 just doing a fantastic job at countering with Disrupt. We're starting to pull out because they were on a 4-round win streak, and they slipped 1 round. Momentum's gotten going, and this is looking very, very dangerous.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as DG is concerned, having the ability to go to hookah is certainly nice going into this last round. I do not like 92 Dream Team's lineup for this site specifically. They have a lot of frags to displace those on couches and billiards, but I do not think that's going to be enough. I really think Hibana shakes up exactly what you need here for this site, and I personally just think it's more often than not a mistake to not bring that operator. Regardless, like I said, you still have a ton of frag grenades. You still have a lot of potential as far as frag power is concerned. So anything is always possible, but surrendering the potential angles into default sites such as billiards, as far as the plan is concerned, it's a yikes for me.
Oh no. Well, 230. We'll see how the rest of this goes. I do agree that Hibana can be very, very useful on this bomb set. I think the Sonics would agree too. That's why they banned her out in the last matchup. And clearly they took that pretty dominantly. This name has been anything but dominant. As you mentioned before, tons of playoffs implications. And for this round, it looks like 92 have been taking their time. And they haven't really been rushing any of these rounds. I mean, they've been aggressive rounds in some senses. They've been rounds where hitting your shots has been really, really important. But they haven't really been running and gunning like we've seen them do earlier on in the season. I think that's why they're doing so well.
Yeah, and again, this is the final. For those who aren't unaware, there are no playoffs for this. This is the final round, at least as far as this matchup
There's no
is
overtime,
concerned.
yeah.
I'm sorry?
There's no overtime, but there are playoffs
Yeah, okay.
in Challenger League.
I thought you
I
said
got
there
you,
is
don't worry.
overtime. I'm like, what?
And this is looking pretty good here. Look at this,
Yeah,
5
so
on
no
3.
overtime. You either settle for the tie, or right now, you battle it out with everything you got to take away this win and secure your playoff spot if you're DG. And 92 has got to make some miracles. Granted, they have the operators to do it, still well within possibility, but as the time ticks down, you only start to favor a very, very collapsible defense.
You could cheer for like 4 different teams and your heart would be off the chart right now, that heart rate. And Doodle just maybe made it a little bit better for you, unless you're a DG fan. We'll see with one player off the board and another one. Hyena is going to get able to tie out the man count, make it a 3-on-3 with a minute still to go in this round. This is still anybody's game, or at least looking for the tie over on the side of 92 Dream Team. Again, in order for anybody to walk away with a clinch spot, Disrupt will have to win this. Otherwise, things are still wide open. A tie would lock out Arbad, however, so still plenty of implications. 45 seconds to go. You don't want to rush this and ruin your whole opportunity. This is the round that your whole season has been leading up to if you're Disrupt Gaming. Clinch this and nothing else matters until playoffs. You can just relax for your last game. And over on the side of VG, this gives you a massive advantage. However, Yeti coming out strong, taking down the kill on Rex, and that's been a big player all game on that F2 as well. Doodle instantly evens this out though. Again, back and forth. We see this go one way and another. Hyena's gonna get it. It's gonna be all on an Evil Waffle. 14 seconds and he can't do it. Doodle ties the game. And that is going to be it. 6-6. What a game, what a match. So many playoff implications. It's still wide open for everyone except for Arbad.
God. That really happened. 5v3 advantage, and you choked it away. I said it's well within possibility, but I mean, still the possibility was very, very low. Wow. All right, so
6-2 lead. That was a 6-2 lead that Disrupt just blew.
Well, 4-2 in the
nuts.
first half. I more or less expected similar from attacking on coastline, but at the same time, last round specifically, you have a 5v3 advantage. Wow. As far as the standings are right now, OC and Sonics are in, so let's just talk about the other teams. We
Yes.
have Disrupt at 21 points, 92 at 19 points, Toon Squad at 18 points, and Our Bad are now out?
Yes, because
Yes.
now, they can't tie for 4th place anymore.
So that's a stinger, at least as far as Our Bad is concerned. They still,
It's rough.
I will absolutely give credit to them. It's been a complete resurgence for them as far as their ability to go toe-to-toe with basically anybody now. Just happened too little too
Little
late
late,
getting
yeah.
Beasley. Yeah, so now we're looking at Toon Squad, 92, and Disrupt for the final 3 spots still. Disrupt have not secured, even though they could have. And our next games coming up are going to be OC Elevate on this channel, which has no playoff implications. Actually, I think OC already secured their first place spot.
With the win in
Yeah,
the first
'cause they have
match.
the
Yeah, that's
tiebreaker.
no implications at all.
Yeah, so when OC won versus Toon Squad earlier, they had secured their number 1 spot. So yeah, this literally has 0 playoff implications. However, on the other channel, oh boy, Toon Squad versus Sonics, and now Toon Squad need to tie. Toon Squad do not hold the tiebreaker over 92.
It's rounds. It'll come down to rounds. So I don't actually know.
No, they don't hold the mini match over 92. They lost versus 92, so they
Did they?
have to win versus Sonics. So a
Perhaps,
lot
yeah.
of this is predicated on really just what happens with that game over
That's
on
an
Rainbow
important
Six
game.
_ UK. That is the most important game for Toons. That's actually, that game on the other channel is the most important game for this playoffs, because if Toon Squad lose versus Sonics, we have our.
That's it.
That's it. Wow. All right. So I'm not saying leave, but what I'm saying is you should also definitely watch Rainbow Six _ UK, which always happens at the same time as us. And that is Uzumaki and Stern Napcasting over there. Again, I am Jared Manpants Live Robinson, and joining me is Jesse Corn Pop. We're going to take a quick break before Organized Chaos versus Elevate. Stay tuned.